So I like to start off with what I find to be the most frustrating, and that gets it out of the way. So I've already peeled my carrots. I'll just come over here, go ahead and grate them. I tried this the other night with a mandolin and it worked acceptably, maybe underwhelming even. So I've switched to the hand grater. It's just as good, and I find it a little bit faster actually. Alright, so 2 carrots shredded. Next is onion. I don't know if you can julienne an onion, but if you could, that's what you're targeting. And I don't want to mince it so much as I want to leave these long slivers intact. So I'll kind of crumble these into the bowl. Next I'll julienne a jalapeno. And I learned this next part from my wife. This is so cool. So you take a melon baller, and to get rid of the seeds and the membranes, kind of get yourself started. And just come down and through, and that scoops the seeds out nice and easy. And if you're going to be working with jalapeno a lot, I definitely recommend wearing gloves, but just touching the outside skin and using the melon baller to get the seeds and membranes really makes it pretty low key. So I said I learned it from my wife. I grabbed the melon baller because I didn't know we had one of these or that it existed. This is a tomato corer, and this is what she prefers. So if you have one of these, it can work well also. But anyway, I'm going to come through and julienne these out nice and fine. So this is already looking really beautiful, nice and colorful. Then we'll come to the papaya. And this is a very green papaya. And this part's been in the refrigerator. Again, I made a test batch the other night, and I'm hoping that the refrigeration will actually firm it up even more. It didn't grate super well the other night, but we'll give it a shot. Really fresh and really green is going to be your best bet for working with the actual fruit itself, because you want it nice and firm so that it grates easily. And with this stage of ripeness of the papaya, you're treating it more like a vegetable than you would a traditionally thought of fruit. And get rid of the peel. It into a manageable chunk. And this is the grater I used for the carrots. I'm going to switch sizes. Use a little bit larger grater for the papaya. And the trick with a hand grater is to not grate your hand. And the refrigeration did seem to help. This is much easier to work with than last night, and it's nice and firm, grates way easily. However, I did try the mandolin, and so far I definitely prefer the hand grater. It's just way easier to use, and it's only one thing to wash. We don't have a dishwasher, and I am the dishwasher. Okay, so this is the finished mix. Got the carrots down there at the bottom, and the different peppers and the onion. And so now what I'll do, I'll go get some salt. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of salt for this part. There's a little bit of salt in the brine. The salt in this step is to draw some of the water out of all these fruits and veggies, so that when we soak it in the brine, it will reabsorb the brine. And that's part of how this is preserved. Look at that beautiful color coming from the carrots, mixing with everything. So that looks pretty good to me. So I will now cover this and let it refrigerate overnight and come back in the morning. Alrighty, welcome back. It is now the next day, and the papaya relish has been chilling in the fridge overnight. And so now we're going to put it into our colander lined with cheesecloth. It smells almost like ceviche. If you could think of that type of slightly acid, slightly peppery vegetable smell. And we're going to rinse it with cool water. And this is going to get rid of a lot of that salt that it was dehydrating with. And then gather our cheesecloth and give it a good squeeze. And what this is doing is squeezing out all the excess moisture from our vegetables so that they can then come back and absorb the pickling mixture. Okay, so that's what we're left with. Now what we'll do, we'll take our canning funnel and a jar and begin packing this down into the jar as if we were going to heat seal it, but we're actually not. We're going to vacuum seal this mixture. But you want to still pack it in a similar way. But you do want to leave some headroom so that you can actually get a good vacuum seal going. You need a little bit more headspace for vacuum sealing than you do for heat canning. I think the instructions recommend about 1 inch. So that's what we're looking at so far. And we will pour in to cover with our pickling mixture. And it looks like it's pretty dang full right now. But you can see, as soon as I run the vacuum sealer on it, it'll actually pull back down into the body down here because there's some air trapped at the bottom. So the vacuum sealer will suck that air out, replace it with brine, and I'll come back through, top it off. I'll break the seal, top it off with extra brine, and then reseal it. So here we are back at the food saver, and I've got a clean lid here. The rim of my jar and the seal of my lid are both clean and dry. Set that down just like so, and this is again the canning attachment for the food saver. It's the vacuum sealing process. All you have to do is press accessory and away it goes. Alrighty, and when you're done, you just take off the attachment, break that vacuum seal, take off the fitting, and there is a beautiful jar of pickled green papaya relish.